want to go into radio and television, I feel like I'm the perfect candidate for it. Music's been my life as long as I can remember. I'm always having earbuds in, listening to tunes, playing records. If I'm not listening to music, that's super weird. I also love just talking about random stuff. I've run a podcast with one of my friends. We talk for like an hour a couple times a week about whatever's happening in pop culture news, all that kind of stuff. I'm combining, talking about current events, music, put them together. I'm your man. No, one of my earliest childhood memories from elementary school is we got to be a VIP of the classroom, and you could bring in a little like CD mixtape, and you could play it during work period and stuff like that. So I remember going around the classroom, oh, does anyone have any requests? Oh yeah, I want to hear this. Can't remember, it was years ago, but I remember going back to the CD player, skip, 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 skip. Alright, this is so-and-so, yeah! So I feel like I'm the perfect fit for this, and this is something I really want to do with my life. A typical workday in this field is, when I was interviewing everyone, it seems like there is no typical workday, it all really depends on the day. But what I generally gather is you go in, whatever your start time is, you have a meeting, talk about, maybe any, skits you want to do today, any promotions you might be running, any contests, any kind of daily content you want to be talking about, current events, that kind of thing. Then, you do all your prep work for that, either like recording your skits or, maybe other material you're doing your advertisements, promoting, recording all that stuff beforehand. And you go on air for a few hours and, if there's anything left to be done after that, that's what you do. That's kind of what an average day looks like. You might have to go out and promote an event. There's a lot of, variables in radio, and there's no set day. But, I guess like the most typical you could day is, meeting, kind of prep work, recording, all that kind of stuff, and then you go on air for your last couple hours. What's to be expected of an industry employee? That would be, you're representing the radio station, right? So you have to be kind of careful of what you post, social media. You gotta be very aware, because you're not just representing yourself at this point, you're representing the whole station and the brand. So you gotta be very careful of how you carry yourself. I guess unless your station wants to go for, maybe a little raunchier, edgier kind of approach, then you can kind of be a little lenient there. But, obviously there's a lot of, components required. You gotta be able to talk to people, you gotta be good at being good on air in public, you have to be able to accept mistakes. You're gonna mess up at some point, and you're just gonna have to live with that. You can't go back on air and be like, just erase everyone's mind, retake that. No, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna have to be able to accept that. I think that's what it takes. What skills and personality traits are required to be on radio? I think, very first, personality. You gotta be personable, because anyone can just plug in their phone and listen to their music on the way to or from work. The music isn't really what makes radio unique. Obviously people listen to the music they want to like. They're not going to pick a station that they don't like the music of. But I think what people keep coming back to radio for is the personalities, their take on current events, how they react to certain things. It's just, in general, you're kind of there with the person. You want to be, you want to have the feeling that you're hanging out with this person, and, that's always a good time. You have to be up to date on, current events. You got to be able to talk about everything. You got to be, obviously something happens in the news, you're going to want to talk about that right away, kind of build some rapport with the audience, if something big is happening, and how. I feel like quick thinking is something, no, not necessarily quick thinking, but gotta be, gotta be quick. If someone calls in and throws something at you, you don't want to be sitting there just dead space like, I don't know how to respond to this. You want to be able to, instantly respond, and get a reaction of that person, kind of have fun, a little rapport with them. I think you got to be able to, accept failure, because, there's going to be some times you're going to try something and it's not going to work, but you're never going to grow as a person if you don't take risks. So I think you got to be able to accept failure, be able to fall on your face, get up, brush off your shoulder, and go, okay, let's try it again. What skills do I personally possess? I think I'm quite personable, quick. I'm a witty guy, and a lot of people like hanging out with me. I'm pretty fun. Something I would like to work on is I'm very great in a duo or a group dynamic. I really play well off of all these other people, but, sometimes I struggle finding my own stride when I do solo work. So I'm hoping at my time at Nait I can grow my independent work and work better as solo. What media sources do I regularly consume? I listen to all music, so I go to quite a few radio stations. Sometimes I listen to Bear, sometimes I listen to Sonic, sometimes I listen to Now, sometimes I listen to Up. I dabble in a little bit of everything. I social media like everyone else, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I watch Netflix, I'm on Spotify constantly. I like go on SoundCloud, listen to, some lesser known artists, listen to some podcasts. Occasionally I'll watch some TV. I'm not the biggest TV guy, but every now and then I'll turn on the TV, see what's on. Ideally, upon graduation, I'd like to either be in music directing or on-air hosting, preferably on-air hosting, but I would take either. I'd like to be an on-air host, preferably West Coast somewhere, doesn't matter where, somewhere along that line. The salary and job market wise, like I said earlier, I'd like to end up on the coast somewhere, West Coast. Probably, you're not going to obviously start off at a big station most likely unless you want to, go through all the ranks, whatever. So maybe I'll start out in a rural area, doing like a lot smaller local station, and then hopefully make my way up to a bigger station. So the median wage, from what I'm finding, is like 40 to 42,000 a year, usually starting at about 30 at the very high end if you're like the top cream of the crop. You can be making upwards of $60,000 a year, but good starting wage appears to be about 30 grand a year. Average wage in this career is about 40, 42 grand, and then the high end is 60 grand a year. So, in that range. Probably start at the low end, 30 grand. I don't see why, if you're just coming out of a program, you'd be making any more than that unless you're exceptional, top of the class kind of material there.